What a horrifically catchy song! Makes me want a boogie, or should I say, boogie? You're about to meet the filmmaker who coordinated this clever concept in the new paranormal. Ladies and gentlemen, ghouls and goblins, please welcome Alex Alipio Jocson. Alex, let's begin with a lightning round. Favorite movie?
Favorite movie is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Favorite Halloween costume?
A few years ago, I dressed up as Sokka from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Pick one. Final Cut Pro, Adobe Premiere Pro, or DaVinci Resolve?
I started on Final Cut, but for now, I'm Premiere for life.
I'm Final Cut Pro for death. What was the weirdest comment someone ever made about a film of yours?
This would actually be a music video. Someone commented, "Is it possible to tattoo a music video to my forehead?"
What would that even look like? Your entire Adobe Premiere timeline shrunk down to the size of a postage stamp? A QR code that links to the Vimeo password page? Or maybe just a frame of you crying over export errors at 3 a.m. If your life had a background soundtrack, who would you want to compose it?
Michael Giacchino, just because his music is so nostalgic, like from Up and The Incredibles.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Alex, you're a director, a cinematographer, a producer, an editor, a photographer, nice ghost photos by the way. Why did you decide to pursue this career?
I think I've always wanted a creative career, and I didn't know it until I was in high school, because before I wanted to be a graphic designer or an author. And then I even considered being a special effects artist because we had schools visit our high school to talk about what they teach. And that was when I figured out that filmmaking is like an option for a career. And it was in my sophomore year when I realized that's like all I really want to do, because I wasn't as interested in math or English or any of the science classes, but filmmaking was what I wanted to do. And I'm glad I figured that out right before I went into college, because that's what I got my degree in.
Let's talk, or should I say, talk, about your recent smash hit music video, Vince A's Let's Fly.
Damn. I love that. So fine. So fine.
What possessed you to conjure up the visual concept, and how did you spirit the song into a cinematic story?
Well, so this one is a special one because before Vince and I were just doing music videos independently, but this is the first song that we released with the help of Bolo Music Group, which is the record label started by Ruby Ibarra. The whole thing, like starting with the song, was made with Bolo, in collaboration with Bolo. But the concept for the visuals of the music video came from Vince, and I was down to do it right away.
A famous serial killer made a music video of all his killings, but the drum track was lost and unable to be duplicated. I can't believe he killed all those people without any repercussion.
So he wanted to do it based off of the Let's Groove music video by Earth, Wind, and Fire. So it was a 1970s, like really campy green screen look. And the idea of it was to make it fun, because as opposed to like our narrative music videos, this is more so, how can we make it dancey? How can we make the band look like they're having fun? And how can we add all these cool space effects? A lot of it had to be planned because it was all in a green screen studio, but we had to know what it would look like before we even showed up on set so that we knew where stars would go, where the backgrounds would go, because it's really hard to explain with words. Like you can only like really see it with visuals.
Well, that's got a nice ring to it.
And come on, to your mind, and your heart, and your soul, and your body.
How do you know Vince A in the first place? I understand you were roommates at some point. Or, if you were witches, broommates.
Vince and I weren't roommates until like 2 years into our friendship. I know Vince, or I met Vince because he's mutual friends with some of my friends, and this was back in 2019. And he was working at a boba shop, and he would do open mics at that boba shop as well. He'd play with his boy band group at the county fairs too. So I was like hearing about him. And then when he went solo, I asked if he had any songs. I texted him during the pandemic, and that's how it all started. We did 6 music videos in 2021.
6! Woo!
What's up? I'm Alex AJ. I'm a film student at CSUN, and when I'm not doing any schoolwork or any other work, I'm editing the 100 Sunsets music video.
I'm Vince A. I've been up to no good lately. We all got fired from our jobs at lately I've been in depresso mode.
We're no longer roommates because I live in the Bay and he lives in LA,
Okay, Dr. Seuss.
but we see each other a lot still.
What was your collaboration process like with Vince? Who came up with what?
It was very much a collaboration. He would still like want approval for certain things. Like at one time he was at the thrift shop and he FaceTimed me asking if he should get that marching band jacket that you see in the music video. And I was like, yeah. Because he tried on like 4 or 5 different ones. But when he tried that one on, and this is like a really bad FaceTime video. It's just really lagging as he's like showing me himself in the mirror. But I just knew it was special. So that's one of the ideas was we wanted to go for that Michael Jackson look because we really admire Michael Jackson music videos. That's something we bonded over when we first met. In terms of like ideas during production, I did come up with ideas based on what I saw in the reference music videos, and he was mostly there just to be directed to perform the way he wanted to, but with some notes for me. And then in the post-production process, he also would give editing notes based on like, oh, maybe I could be really big right here, or I could be tiny here, and we can have the dancer right here. So again, it was 50-50, I'd say.
You have such a calm demeanor. The set must have been very mindful, very demure. Look at me using meme quotes from 2 years ago.
I certainly try to appear calm, but often when it comes to shoot day, I'm really stressed. And it can take me a bit of time to actually respond to someone if they have a question because as a director, everyone's asking you a question and you're always having to make decisions. You can't spend too much time lingering on a creative choice. Like that's what the pre-production is for.
They say 1 hour of pre-production is worth 10 hours in the field, which explains why haunted fields are always overbooked with productions. We ghosts just skip the pre-production phase altogether. What technical or creative challenges did you face during production, and how did you overcome them?
A big thing that I was pushing for, I've shot videos where the green screen isn't the best because it's not well lit,
Stupid fire code!
or it's just not big enough, or there's wrinkles in the green screen. For this music video project specifically, I wanted a studio, and I wanted it to be like at least more than 15 feet wide of a background, and that's what we were able to get, luckily.
Ah, the magic of a green screen studio. With modern chroma keying, you can put your subject anywhere in the world. On a mountain, on a lake, or, get this, in a green screen studio.
The constraint was we had to fit 5 people in one of the shots. One of the band performers plays trombone, so it's going the long way this way or this way.
Ah, the trombone, a weapon of brass destruction.
And then other times, someone might be getting covered up. So definitely the wide shots where we had the band were the toughest because position really mattered. There are 5 people in frame, and you want them all to look good. So yeah, that was part of it in the production. It's we had to take multiple takes just to get it perfect because we don't want to do reshoots. It's really tough to logistically to schedule reshoots. Definitely in the editing process, it went through 19 different versions.
19? Ah!
Like I literally have like all the files still, but version 19 is the one that was posted.
Version 19.
We wanted to make sure it looked like a throwback, even though it still looks a little bit polished. Resolution wise, we wanted to get 480.
You really nailed that 1970s sheen. By the way, did that band Earth, Wind, and Fire even know how close they were to reaching the Avatar state?
One of the notes too was during the post-production process, for just to have like a lot going on in the background, just because it's a 5-minute song, so we can't make it too boring with just black and white with just stars in the background. So I put as much color as I could into this.
Why did the editor turn down the wedding gig? It wasn't a real job. Get it? Real job? Like film real? Oh, you know what? There are hundreds of jokes in this show. Not all of them are gonna be winners. How long did the entire shoot take?
Oh, we shot it in one day. It was a 8-hour shoot.
Oh.
And actually, one of the other constraints was we only had one of the dancers for 1 hour because that was the amount of time. That was the amount of time we had her booked. But I mean, we got all the shots we needed with her, and I was really satisfied with it.
I'm going to dig a little deeper than your average grave and pose this question. In what ways has your Filipino-American background shaped not only your creative voice, but also your approach to filmmaking?
I actually don't think about that a lot because being Filipino American, I think I'm more fixated on the representation part. Like I want to see more people that look like me, and that was definitely something I was happy to do with this project. But oftentimes, I think it's more of a subconscious thing that happens for how my voice is influenced. My grandparents are all Filipino, and then my parents are Filipino American, but they grew up here. So there's definitely traditions I have within the family, but also I don't speak Tagalog. So there's just different parts of my identity that I feel like separate me from other Filipino Americans. It's also true for other friends that I've met too, where we're Filipino American, but there's like a spectrum of what we're connected with our roots. But certainly, I think there are core values that I would have to examine within myself to see like what's Filipino versus what's like just American. But yeah.
Great answer. Thank you for sharing, Alex. What kind of stories or projects are you most excited to pursue?
Usually, like your first projects, especially the ones that get a lot of attention, are what you become popular for, and that's what people will hire you for. So picking the genre is very important to me, and I think I'm really drawn to dramedy, so dramas that have comedy within them. But also, I want to keep pursuing like making music videos because music videos are so fun. They're they're a joy to do, and if I could do that until the day I die, I would.
Ah, love to hear it. Alex, thank you for shooting the sheet with me today. My friends, I must ghost you for now. Until next time, goodbye.